What's going on, everyone? SiNxRealize here, and welcome back to the Sinterview podcast. I believe this is episode 11. This actually marks our 1 year anniversary of doing the podcast, so that's pretty cool. But we have a wonderful guest here, someone who I've honestly watched for a long time. His name is Thundershot. He used to be Thundershot 69. He has 58k followers on Twitch, as well as over 2,000. Obviously more than 200,000 subs on the main YouTube channel. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, how you doing? Good to be here.
It's always good to have you here. So of course, just in case if anyone doesn't know you, just give like a quick rundown of what you do and whatnot.
Sure. I started off doing YouTube, and like Sin mentioned, the main YouTube channel, which is Dragon Ball themed. I don't really do that anymore. We got that up to 200,000 subs, and then I moved over. I've got another YouTube channel now, and it's basically just an archive for my Twitch streams, and that's mostly what I do. I stream variety on Twitch. I play games with friends. I stream games that are new. Horizon just came out. I played a lot of Legends Arceus. I like Pokemon a lot. I'm more into ROM hacks and stuff though. But yeah, I will stream almost any genre of game, and that's what I've been doing for the last few years.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I've seen like since I like started watching you over on Twitch, because I think like the most memorable part for me when I first started watching was I think you're playing Until Dawn or something like that. That was like 5+ years ago at this point.
I was on release. Yeah, it was a minute.
Yeah, that was a launch day thing, and I was like, all right, so Twitch is a thing now. Because like the funny thing is like Twitch was something that like I never thought about until like
I
until
had sorry to cut you off. I had like one or two YouTubers I watched a lot. They were Call of Duty guys. They were COD YouTubers, but they started streaming on Twitch. But I liked them so much. I'm like, yeah, I'll check out the website. I'll see what it's about. And you know how it is. It takes forever to get people, myself included, like interested enough in a different website to make an account and actually, go the extra mile to get on it or whatever. But I finally made a Twitch because of them, and then because of that, like through them, I found speedrunners and stuff. But then when I inevitably started, like, I want to live stream too. That looks like fun. I had a whole untapped like Dragon Ball crowd that had mostly never heard of Twitch, so I like kicking and screaming drug a lot of people over to Twitch. But yeah, I don't, not to like toot my own horn or anything, but I still have a lot of people who come back to me like, yeah, you're the guy, you're the reason I signed up for Twitch in the first place, because it was so long ago, it was just a whole group of people that hadn't really heard about it yet when I started moving over there.
Yeah, exactly. Like I knew like of Twitch like when I was a bit younger, because one of my buddies was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try streaming on this site called Twitch or whatever." I don't know if it was Justin TV at the time or not. Like I've had my username like since then, and somehow I remembered my login information, and I was like, "Hey, you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. I'll start watching. Let's see what this is about." And like, but yeah, like pretty much what I've known you for, of course, is like your Dragon Ball stuff. I know that like you started like especially popping off. I think it was during the what was it, Battle of Z? Was that what it was?
Yeah, the pop-offs sort of came in waves with the games in the beginning. But yeah, Battle of, like, I don't know if you want the life story or not, but when I started a YouTube channel, like I said, I was watching Call of Duty guys. So I actually started off making Call of Duty videos, and then when you're a new channel, you kind of goof around and just do whatever you want and keep throwing stuff at the wall, see what sticks. And I made Dragon Ball games there had not been a recent Dragon Ball game in a while, and I made a Dragon Ball video just talking about what I wanted in the next game. And that video it got 3,000 views in like 3 months, and then in 5 months it got 8,000 views, and that was huge. And I was like, you know what, there might be something here. So I stuck to Dragon Ball. And then I got lucky. Battle of Z comes out, the movie comes back, the anime comes back, Xenoverse, yada yada, and I was able to bounce off those really well.
Yeah, that actually answers one of the questions I was going to ask. What was how you got like started on YouTube? So that pretty much just summed it up for me in a nutshell.
If I'm allowed to go back a step further, there was a guy I was in school with, whose name I'm not going to say because I don't fully support the kind of content he makes now. But he was a good guy last time I talked to him. I'll put it that way. I haven't talked to the guy in years. I don't want to say I'm good or bad about him. But anyway, he actually had YouTube videos and he was going, and I was on one of his YouTube live streams, and he was like, if you're ever going to make a channel and start plugging it, do it now. So I started off with like 200 subs out of the gate, but it was people who didn't really care about Call of Duty because we weren't doing Call of Duty stuff. So I don't know. I had got my foot under me, but I got lucky in that both on YouTube and Twitch, I never really had that very, very, very beginning phase, which in my opinion is the hardest, where you don't have any viewers, where you're sitting there and you're like sub 5 viewers, sub 8 viewers, whatever, trying to get your feet under you. I got to skip that part on both platforms, thankfully.
So what you're saying is that it's almost like a video game, and you just decide to skip the tutorial part.
Nah, because the tutorial, like, I don't know if you ever stopped going through the tutorial on the internet. I think there's always new stuff. Maybe not always, but like I spent the first few years at least. I probably didn't have a grasp on YouTube fully until after I'd stopped doing it and moved fully to Twitch. And Twitch is constantly changing, so I feel like you're always learning in this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There's always like a new meta that's going on. Like at one point there was the hot tub meta, and currently right now it's like literally just watching TV shows and anime and whatnot.
So that's been my problem with Twitch, and why I've been really thankful I hit another growth, just because I've been playing a lot of games with friends, and we all have a very good time together, and I think that shows. So I've been hitting another like spike recently, both me personally and then our group as a whole. But right before then I was having a really tough time with Twitch, because I don't do React content. I barely watch React content. Moon Monkey is the only React content streamer I'll watch when he reacts, because he just does it so different. He'll like make anime intros for when he watches Hell's Kitchen and stuff, and it's really good. But other than that, I don't like React content myself, and I really don't like doing it. I've done it before, but I really don't like doing it. I learned after doing it for a couple weeks. I was just like, it's not for me. So I struggle with Twitch for a little bit there.
Yeah, I find that like the meta's only good for people who are like way out there that have a contract where they have to hit X amount of hours. But for someone who's just like not contracted, can just do whatever, I feel like playing like games and all that is probably the better thing. But at the same time, I don't really know the meta of Twitch that well for the most part. All I know is people started getting banned, and they're still towing the line at this point.
Yeah, so basically Twitch doesn't want any streamers watching DMCA stuff on stream. But Twitch has put themselves in a spot legally where they can't interfere. They can't be the ones to tell you no. Because if Twitch comes in and they tell somebody no, like you can't stream Hell's Kitchen, and Twitch says that, not a DMCA company or anything, if Twitch says that, then on a legal standpoint, if they ever get sued, that's a point in time where Twitch has basically claimed responsibility. They kind of admitted, like, it is our job. We do have to stop them. So if these companies start suing them, Twitch gets sued. Right now, they've backed all the way out of it. And they say, hey, if you want this guy's stuff taken down, if you want him to stop watching Hell's Kitchen's going to have to DMCA the streamer. And then we'll punish him, and we'll give him the old slap on the wrist, or the 3-day ban, or the indefinite ban, depending. But it's your job to do that, not ours. So that, like, they're staying back to protect themselves legally, but on the inside, they're kind of sitting there screaming, please stop watching DMCA stuff. Please stop watching, because they can still get sued anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
They're in a weird spot.
Like the only way that they would possibly be able to like do any like stepping in a sense is almost going similar to like the YouTube route with like an automated system or something like that, with like create content IDs. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. And we used to collectively bash the hell out of YouTube, because for a while they did a similar thing where they just either stayed completely off of it, or when they did put in their content ID bot, it hit everything, and it always favored the company, even if the company was fake or someone was pretending to be the company. Like, it favored them every single time. So that system was awful for a while. And I feel like even though it still makes mistakes, looking back on it now, like, it is in such a better spot than Twitch is as far as content ID goes. YouTube just has that stuff so much more figured out, because you can dispute it. If you win the dispute, like, they put money in holding, so it doesn't just go to them. Like, if you win the dispute, it comes back to you. YouTube's got it way more figured out.
Mm-hmm.
And Twitch has needed something like this for a while, but they won't do it because of the hole they wrote themselves into. And it's weird, because they knew this was coming. They knew DMCA was going to catch up to them eventually, and just for years, they just ignored it. They're like, oh, it'll be fine.
Yeah, that was definitely something that like YouTube has, but Twitch doesn't. And Twitch also has things that YouTube doesn't, which kind of makes them like fight against each other for like what people want. Because
I don't want to flip the interview or anything, but how is streaming on YouTube going? I know you made that switch a few months back now.
Yeah, I did that in November. I honestly, I feel a lot better streaming over on YouTube than I did on Twitch. I feel like on Twitch I was hitting that point where there just wasn't any more growth. I was just stuck at like 2-3 viewers at a time. But now since I moved over to YouTube, since I have like a smaller following there, my mind wraps itself around like, all right, it's fine for me to have 3 viewers or whatever, and like it it feels better in a sense, but at the same time, there's always parts of me that just misses Twitch because of the like Twitch community aspect, because like that's something that YouTube just doesn't have figured out completely.
So this is something I noticed. I'm going to assume this is what comment sections look like on YouTube live streams because I kind of seen it. I don't know if you were around or not, but I'll just give the whole story. Nano brought me and a couple of friends out. Nano did a 24/7 nonstop live stream, and he was up for like 2 weeks. He live streamed for like 2 weeks straight. It was a big old subathon thing that he did nonstop, and then like. So he called us in, so like I would come in and I would handle the night shift, and they would come out, and then we all would eat stuff together. But Nano has a very, very, very large YouTube following, and in a similar sense to me, but on a much bigger scale. When he goes live on Twitch, he brings a lot of people over, but he brings a lot of people over who only know YouTube, even still to this day. So when
Mhm.
they come over to Twitch, you'll see commenters, and I don't know, maybe this is what YouTube streaming is like, maybe it's not, but you'll see commenters who they're not a community like you said. They're not talking to anybody, they're talking at you. It's like they're leaving a YouTube comment. But
Mhm.
one thing that I noticed with them in particular, because Nano's got, hundreds or thousands of people watching them at any given moment, and a lot of them are chatting, is nobody, like almost nobody, ever even thought to talk to each other. They were all always 100% of the time trying to get the streamer's attention and trying to get the streamer to answer them. And it was just like, it was kind of a weird shift from my chat, which is very, very Twitch integrated now, to go into that one where they're just always talking at you. And it felt weird to me, but I
Yeah,
don't know if that's how it is.
that's definitely something to be taking into consideration, especially if you do have that following on YouTube. I think for me, it was a more smoother transition for me because like the people who the following that I did have over on Twitch that came over, they still talk like amongst each other, but I definitely do see those moments where it does feel like they're just talking, trying to talk to you and really only you and not chatting amongst themselves. But I have heard like my chat doesn't pop it as much as like other people's, but what I've seen is like Twitch has like with their chat they have like a set like a half second or something like that where like it it won't just like where it'll just feed like some of the comments or whatever, and YouTube is just completely going. And people have made the comparison that it's easier to read XQC's chat than it is someone who has 5,000 people watching over on YouTube.
You're talking like at the top of the top where people are getting a bunch of comments at once. I think I get what you
Mhm.
mean because
Yeah,
Twitch actually has a delay, whether it's intended or not. That the chat UI has that lag to it.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so you'll get a whole page of XQC comments that you can read for maybe half a second, but then you skip 2 pages of comments because it reloads up to the new fresh page. But yeah, no, I get
Yeah,
what you mean in that. I don't think that's anything I'm gonna have to worry about anytime soon. But yeah,
yeah,
I get
exactly.
what you're saying.
Yeah, I definitely see like both sides of like the YouTube and Twitch sort of situation. I just saw YouTube was more what I wanted to focus on because I also found like when I was streaming on Twitch, I would want to make less content for YouTube. But because I'm streaming on YouTube, it immediately puts me into content brain and think I need to be on all the time. Twitch, I pretty much just feel like I just like relax and just go about my own thing. I don't feel
I think I think
amped up as it was.
I've struggled with that since I started live streaming. I'm always torn. I always bounce back and forth between do I want to go live for like 2 to 4 hours and try to just get, like the most pristine T shots live, you have to be here content? Or do I want to go live like 8 to 10 hours a day and do a lot more relaxed stuff? Like when I was playing Arceus, I was just maxing out the decks. I was just maxing out
Mhm.
the decks. So it's like that's not the most pristine, like you have to be here T shots live. It's going to be entertaining content. It's just us kind of shooting the shit and we're chatting and sort of doing our thing while I complete the Pokedex in the background. Um, and I know, like, I don't know. I'm always torn on that. I'm always because like there are times when I want to stream more, but I want to stream stuff that I know isn't going to be like premium stuff, and then it's like I could be live right now. Or like when I get addicted to League of Legends, I'll play League of Legends for like 3 days straight, and I'll be like, I could just be live while I'm playing League in the background, but it might kill my channel because people aren't coming out because it's League. I don't know. But yeah, that's something
Yeah.
I've never quite figured out.
Yeah, that's something that's always a struggle. It's always super hard trying to find like that balance for it as well. Like there's like typically what I do is like once a week, because I try to stream like 3 times a week for like about 3 hours or something like that. I always try to put in the effort of like one of the streams being a more like laid back, just like grinding type of stream, but trying to like keep like the consistent audience, whether it's playing like the same game or whatnot. Um, because obviously you don't really worry too much about that because you do variety for yourself, but and like you kind of understand it though from like doing your YouTube channel from all the other Dragon Ball, because you know that's what you mainly had to focus on for that.
Yeah. Yeah, when I stopped doing it took me a long time to realize that I was kind of done with Dragon Ball. And because I was done with Dragon Ball, I kind of had to be done with that channel because that channel was 100% cultivated to Dragon Ball fans. And if I did non-Dragon Ball content, a very small percentage of them carried over. Even if the content I was doing was, in my opinion, was really good and really entertaining, they didn't care because like Goku wasn't in it or whatever. And at first, I blame them for that, but the longer time went on, I'm like, no, they were just that's what they were here for. They weren't fucking with me. They were fucking with that, which is fine.
Hmm.
But I learned, and then when I went over to Twitch, like, yeah, I brought some people. Like I said, I got over that like initial hump. I think I started with 20, 30 people watching me on Twitch, which, like I said, skips the hardest part in my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, Once you have people who are like regular viewers and chatters and whatnot. So while I did get to skip that, I basically had to cultivate an entire new audience, ground up past that point because I needed people who were going to be, like they're there for me. They're there for whatever I'm playing, which that gets into to the whole variety debate versus if you play one thing. Um, because it's a lot easier to keep as long as it's still relevant, like Pokemon or League of Legends or whatever is always going to be relevant. As long as it's still relevant, it's a lot easier to keep an audience when you're playing that same thing that they're there for the whole time. It's a lot harder to grow an audience on variety, but when you do grow an audience on variety, like I have a lot of people who are loyal, like to me, like to what I'm doing. It doesn't matter what game I fire up today. I know a certain number of people are going to come out and watch because they're fucking with me, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly. Like another example I use a lot for like when it comes to like variety and having that community that's specifically there for them is I I'm pretty sure you know him, Benjamin 10.
Yeah,
Yeah, he like whenever he streams, his community's like always there. He has his like 30, 40 plus people, and then pretty much what happens with him I find is he'll be hooked on one game for so long that he'll start building an audience around that game, and then he switches and it just goes back down to where it is, but he always has that like initial core group of people that's always there for his streams, just like you do at this point as well.
yeah, and I feel like even the way Ben's doing it, you'll build up a lot over time. Because even if he starts at 30 or 40, if he gains 10, 20 people average throughout the him playing that game, when he switches, if even one or two of them stick, that's one or two more regulars, and then you just keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about grinding for when it comes to being a content creator just in general as well. There actually was something I wanted to mention. I know that like you don't really do much Dragon Ball content anymore or at all, but I feel like you're probably still into Dragon Ball somewhat. So I kind of wanted to know what your thoughts are on the new Super movie that's coming up.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm still in the loop. I picked up the Shonen Jump app and I caught up on My Hero and I'm reading Demon Slayer now. So I have the ability. It's caught my eye a few times. Like I catch up on Super manga because I know Super's been out. But like I'm still friends with Rhyme Style and Dotto and Dion and everybody. So like
Yeah.
I'm in the loop. Whether I want to be or not, I'm in the loop and I do want to be.
Hmm.
So I haven't watched. I don't think the latest full trailer on the movie. I've seen a trailer, but I think they just came out with some new news the other day or whatever. Anyway, I've seen Twitter and it sounds a lot like it's going to be a Gohan related movie and there's going to be a lot of Piccolo in it, and I'm looking forward to that a lot. I've always been a Gohan guy, even though he's a nerd now.
Yeah.
And I just saw that they aged up Goten and Trunks finally, so everything there looks positive.
Yeah.
Everything, there-
I,
and I don't know if you've seen that game or not. They did the beta. I didn't get it. Well, I got into the beta. I didn't play the beta. I didn't feel like playing it, but they got that Dragon Ball Ball Breakers game coming out, which is it's going to be like a Friday the 13th slash Dead by Daylight style kind of sort of.
mhm.
But you're gonna be being hunted by like Cell and Majin Buu and shit while they try to get their new forms and stuff. That looks really badass. Probably gonna play that a lot.
Yeah, I saw that, and like the first thing that popped in my head was like, this is just glorified hide and seek. Like that was the first thing that popped into my head. I haven't really seen much gameplay of it. I think I saw like maybe like one video from either Rhyme or Nano, but that was really about all that I saw for it.
Have you played Friday the 13th or Dead by Daylight at all?
I haven't. I have Dead by Daylight, but I don't trust my computer to run anything. I'm due for an upgrade.
No, that's fair. The concept is just they drop a monster in, and in Dead by Daylight, for example, you there's you have to turn on like 5 generators, and when you turn on 5 generators, you can open up the doors that let you out. So the whole time you're running and hiding, and you're placing traps for the bad guy that you hope you can run him into, and you're just trying to duck him. And it's glorified hide and seek. While they're trying to kill you the whole time. And then the killers all have different powers and stuff like that. And then the Friday the 13th, it's Jason. Obviously, there's different forms of Jason, but you're trying to go through houses. You search through houses and try to get like gas for the car, and you put the car battery back in it, and then you can start it up and drive away. But that's kind of the concept. And Ball Breakers looks like a very similar thing, except it's so much cooler because it's going to be, it's going to be Cell. Cell starts out at his larva form, and then he goes first, second, perfect. And then I think it's all Frieza forms, and then all Majin Buu forms. So
Yeah.
this one's different because in Dead by Daylight, you don't really get upgrades as the killer, but in this one, like you're gonna be going around killing NPC people you can find and like eating them or whatever to get to your next form, and then every time you hit another form, you get stronger, so you're better at hunting the humans that like the real player humans. It looks cool.
Yeah, just you describing it, it sounds like it would be a really solid game actually. Like especially if there are like the NPCs that you can like hunt down to get stronger as well. There's going to be definitely some sort of meta when playing that game for sure, easily.
Yeah, it's an anime game, so you never know because it feels like with games like this, it might come out and have one like weird meta thing or one game breaking thing that just ruins it. So it's always iffy. But like Dead by Daylight was when it came out, and even I think they cleaned it up in the last year or so. But it was an incredibly buggy game. I think it was an indie company that dropped it. Friday the 13th was a really buggy game from the day it came out to the day it died, and then this one's being made by an anime company, so. Well, I don't know how the bugs are gonna look, but you know how it is with anime games. Like, if you rate a regular AAA video game, you rate it. It's Horizon. The new Horizon's 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, whatever. Like, but when you rate an anime game, you're like, okay, this game is a 7 out of 10 for an anime game because I feel like they're on different scales because they're almost always just not comparable to what's in the current market. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like
Other than the fact that it's heavily boosted by it's an anime, so your favorite characters are in it, so you're gonna like it more on that aspect, I guess.
yeah, it's just like when they tried doing Jump Force and then they posted that it's done. They're like, nope, no more.
That game came and went so fast.
It
They
really
were still
did.
trying to push DLC out for it when it died. Then they're like, "Oh, I guess that's it."
Yeah, they're like, well, we're done. We're just gonna close it all now. Clearly, it did not turn out very well. Like I saw like gameplay for like that game. I thought about picking it up just for memes, and I was like, it's not even worth my money.
Jump Force to me was fun if you got like a group of friends who all were not good at Jump Force, and then you played together. Or like if some of you got okay, like you had to be around the same skill level. But like if you just wanted to pick up Jump Force in the late phase and pop online, you're gonna get people who had never stopped playing Jump Force since it came out.
Yeah.
And then it's the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much that's how it works with like a lot of games too. Like especially like once the game's been dead for a while, you hop on and you're like, why are you guys still playing this?
It's the only people left are people who never stopped. So like this happens with fighting games a lot too. I feel like, but just there's a lot of games in general. Typically ones with smaller communities. Um, Game comes out, everybody gets on, people wean off over the course of the next 3 to 6 months, and then the only people left are the people who never stopped. So everybody left is just really really good for the most part. So anybody new coming in is just going to show up and just get rolled and be like, okay, this game sucks, and then they bounce. And I think that's how a lot of games end up dying. And I don't know a proper way to mitigate that or fix that, but that's kind of how it is.
Mm-hmm. Like I also find like content creators can also be like a pretty decent like make or break for a game as well, because like if the creators aren't vibing with it and then they don't want to play it, then their audience will either not know about it or they're gonna be like, well, if X person doesn't like it, then I probably won't.
The first community manager we've gone through 3 since then. The first community manager we had when Ryan and I started talking to Bandai Namco about games around the time Xenoverse 1 came out. really cool guy, but he kept telling, he would tell us and he would tell Japan and like the higher ups. He kept saying like, yeah, this game would not have popped off. This game would not have popped off as well as it did if these guys were not making videos on it. So he was all for trying to, because Japan is very I don't know, set in the old school ways. They didn't like the idea of working with YouTubers at all, and he had to keep hammering and be like, no, it's doing well because they're making videos. Let them make videos. Let me give them codes and stuff. But like he had to really fight for that. But he credited us with a lot of what it was, because some of our videos were getting like 1 million plus views for people who might not have otherwise known that a Dragon Ball game even came out recently. You know, so
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with what you're saying 100%. Like content creation can really bump a game up. Look at Grand Theft Auto. Rockstar doesn't even like that people do roleplay, but Grand Theft Auto, like Grand Theft Auto 5 would have been fine online even up to this point, like would have been okay, but I feel like RP bumped PC sales so much.
Oh, it 100% did. Like, I know that like there was a lot of people who were like bitching about how bad like the online was, like when they did go online, just because it was filled with like slurs and all that other stuff and people hacking and like the whole 9 yards. But like when as soon as GTA 5 like felt like it was going downhill a little bit, people started doing the RP, and then it just started to skyrocket back up.
Yeah. Even now, we were talking about the Twitch meta earlier. One thing I notice is Among Us to an extent, but Grand Theft Auto 5 roleplay, and even like League of Legends, they all spike when the meta, whatever, like if there's no current Twitch meta, if the current Twitch meta is kind of on the way of fizzling out, those are the games that pop up until a new meta shows up. Grand Theft Auto RP was big, and then Among Us came out, and Among Us blew up. And then when Among Us started to die, Grand Theft Auto RP caught another wave. And then watching Hell's Kitchen became the wave. Or, you know, just React content in general. But every big streamer's watched Hell's Kitchen at this point. And it's dipped off, and there's not like if you're into single player games, like, you know, Co-Carnage, your big single player, Dan's Games, your big single player guys, like they're playing, you know, like Horizon and shit like that. But for the people who just kind of ride the metas, the watching Hell's Kitchen meta has also trailed off a little bit, and you're seeing Grand Theft Auto 5 spike again.
Yeah, exactly. I find like especially when it comes to like video game metas now, a lot of it does end up revolving around multiplayer-esque games. Cause like of course like when you're playing with other creators, they're on at that point as well. So there's just like that mixture of like communities and all that stuff as well. Like especially when it came to Among Us, for example, that was like massive because they're like, oh, they're playing with X person, and it was just a massive shit show of people all together at once. I was like, I can't follow this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what wasn't there like at one point like wasn't Ryan part of one of those like massive lobbies or some shit? And
Ryan played one with Ninja and I think Pokemon. I played one with Critical and Some Ordinary Gamers and Andrew Hugbees.
okay,
Like, yeah, there was a big mesh.
yeah,
A couple big lobbies where people. I don't know how we wound up in half of them, but yeah, a couple big lobbies were.
a lot of sweet talking. That's what it was.
I don't think so. I don't remember who Rhyme knew that got him into the Ninja game. That might have been a Twitch invite thing, actually, on how they all ended up there. I don't remember how that one worked. I ended up playing with Critical because I know Andrew Hugbees. He has a YouTube channel, but I watched him when he did different content before, and I still watch him now. He does a podcast with them. But he was like, "Hey, I'm in a group of guys for Among Us," and we had always talked about playing a game together, and Among Us was just the perfect time for that.
Yeah,
And that's just Andrew's friends with all them, but that's how I got into that one.
yeah. I know that they've definitely tried following like metas as well, especially when you were doing the your own GTA RP server. I think it was like the Squad RP or something like that.
Yeah, that's still alive and well, by the way. It's
Oh, is
the
it?
numbers are actually looking pretty good.
Right on.
And so it's been an alpha slash you could probably call it in beta now, I don't know. It's been an alpha since it came out. The 1 year anniversary is in April, and sometime soon, maybe not by the anniversary, but hopefully not too long after, we're officially out of alpha and kicking it into 1.0. So we're gonna start hyping that up again a bunch because I'm probably gonna dive back into it head first. But yeah, Balvin and I made that, and then we brought in people who run it better than us, and then we brought in admins and stuff, and it kind of became its own thing, and we didn't have to watch over it 24/7 anymore, which is great. And yeah, that server's still going.
Yeah, like I know that I'm in that like Discord and whatnot, and like part of me is like I want to join because content, but then at the same time for me I'm like for some reason I just get super anxious about it, and I'm like, what if I don't RP good? I'm gonna get banned.
No. You wouldn't get banned for bad RP. You would get banned for like malicious
Metagame and all
RP.
that.
Yeah, like if you're not breaking any rules and you're not intentionally like being malicious or just doing anything, you know what I mean. We have a community that has our community's introduced a lot of people to roleplay. A lot of people who hadn't RP'd before this, and it just eases them in. I think the hard part is just getting in that first day, maybe getting a group of people that your character is comfortable standing with, and then figuring it out from there. Knowing what you want to do helps a lot. But yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pushing a lot for the 1.0, because like we're gonna hype that up again, and like I don't know, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be maxed out in queue. Like that lobby's gonna be full. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, like the fact that it's been almost a year, like it doesn't feel like it's been a year. It feels like it's maybe been 6 months since that even started.
It feels like it's been a year to me. I guess like I was putting in like days of work before it happened. I was basically on that thing nonstop the first 2 months it was out. Like, cause I was nobody else was there for it, so I had to be the police chief, and like you have to keep the town running. So that was my job for a while, and it was that was
It
it was
was
a
a
lot.
lot.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I aged 3 years in the first 3 months of that server being out, just trying to keep it going. But I mean, we made something that worked. So
Yeah, I think I'm starting to see a few gray hairs.
yeah, I pulled one out of my beard the other day. I had a midlife crisis right then and there.
Yeah, my fiance's actually been starting to get a couple gray hairs, and I start laughing at her because she's like a few months younger than me.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here, I've gotten like maybe like 1 or 2 gray hairs, but they've just ended up in the mustache. I'm like, oh, boop, done.
How old are you?
26.
Oh shit! All right.
How old? I don't even
A
know
little,
how old
a
you
little
are
young for the
actually.
Grays.
How old even are
I
you?
am. I'm 28. I got you by a little bit.
Yeah, only by like 2 years. It's
Yeah.
not too much.
Been on the internet for fucking ever, so
Yeah, that's about right. Cause like now that I think about it, I've pretty much been watching you since before I was like 20, which is I can't even
It
imagine
always
that.
blows my mind when people say that. People are like, "Oh my god, T-Shot, I watched you right when I got into high school, and now I have a wife and kids." And it's like, no, you don't. Shut up. Like, there's so.
I was hanging out in your streams and watching your videos when I was a goddamn rapper.
Oh shit! You know what? I remember that. I remember you talking about
Yeah,
the getting radio time and stuff.
yeah, exactly. That that was one thing that like stuck out to me. I was like, I can't believe I was actually doing that shit. God damn it. um, so
I feel
so
like if you ever were gonna do stuff like that's early 20s, pre 20, like pre 20 to early 20s is when it's when you try it, right?
exactly.
That's when you go for it. I don't think there's any you know harm or shame or anything in doing stuff like that. That's how I ended up on YouTube. But
Yeah, exactly. Like, like early, it's like mid 20s is like the latest when trying to like I find to be trying to get into content creation. But I mean, some people can be like 30 plus and figure out their niche like immediately, and you're like, oh, okay, cool.
I think it helps a lot. I think there's. I wouldn't say let age ever deter you from this. I think if anything, the older you are, the more prepared you are. Because at everybody who gets into this, like I got into this when I tried once when I was 17, and then I went back again when I was 19, and that's the one that stuck.
hmm
Um, but it's like when you're 19, you're moved out, you're in college or you're not, but either way, you're broke as all hell, and you're trying to make YouTube work on that front. I feel like even somebody getting into it when they're 30, 32, 35, whatever. At that point, you've probably had a job for a while. You probably have something that resembles a savings. You can probably afford to get yourself a nice computer, a nice mic, find out what you want to do. Your brain's developed enough to where you can study up on what you want to do and probably not say anything stupid you'll regret. Um, 10 years later,
Yeah.
yeah, so many videos I've gone back in private just because like it's not even that what I said was like necessarily like bad. It's just like, oh my god, I hate that I said that. I don't know. It's just
Yeah, exactly.
but
Like I know like there's been like so many streamers and just YouTubers in general that have been canceled for the stupid shit they said when they were like 10 years prior, and you're and then every single time that happened, I'm like, they were like teenagers and shit. Like it was how YouTube and all that was like at the time. Like I always find like cancel culture is just a little bit much at this point.
I don't know. I feel like I debate with myself every other day on if like how real cancel culture is.
Mm-hmm.
Because all that really boils down to is somebody said something that somebody else didn't like, and I'm not a huge fan of people getting offended for other people on their behalf. But like if I said something, for example, okay, so when I started YouTube, a couple words that were in my vocabulary that are not anymore are two of the R words.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't do that anymore. But if somebody were to go into like one of my old videos and be like, "Hey, you said this that upsets me. I'm not, I'm not going to be your friend anymore." Even if they tweeted it out, like basically all I could do is like publicly apologize and just say like, "I said those. I haven't said those in like over 5 years because it's not, that I realized the mistake and I don't do it anymore." And if you quit messing with me because of that, then you quit messing with me because of that, because you don't get to pick who you hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I would want to put it out there that like I'm changed, I'm different. If you see that and you're still with me, cool. But if you're not, like I can't really be upset at anybody for something like that getting to them. Like, oh, I didn't know. I watch this guy every day, and that really, you know what I mean? That's
Mm-hmm.
how it is. That's how it is. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
I think even if that were to come up, I don't think I would be canceled, because I mean, there's people who I
Say
don't
it.
want to name names or anything, but they're like I'm not naming names, but there's been people who have like had legitimate, like, it's out there that they like sexually assaulted somebody, and you'll get people who are in their responses and they're like, "Oh, everybody makes mistakes, kings, it's okay. Everybody makes a mistake, king, it's okay." And then they still have hundreds of thousands subs on YouTube or whatever, and they still have a bunch of people watching their videos. And it's like, anytime I see stuff like that, I'm like, I don't think cancel culture is real.
Yeah.
I
I
don't, like, I don't know.
I feel like the cancel culture, it's like, hey, you just get like a vacation for a little bit, and then you just come
Yeah,
back and act like
I
nothing
would almost
happened.
I would almost say that, because I've seen that happen a lot of times where people just disappear depending on the severity of what they did. They're either gone for 2 weeks or they can be gone for 6 months, and then they come back and pretend it never happened, and they ban anybody who mentions it, and it just works. It
Yeah.
just keeps going. So I don't know.
Don't know how they do it, but god damn it. Teach me
Yeah.
the secret recipe.
So it's so weird, because I feel like on one end you have people who are kind of like, "Oh my god, cancel culture is so overbearing and it'll get anybody," and then on the other end you have people who are actually legitimately fucking up and don't deserve fan bases, and they still have them, and it's like, I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, it, it's just all over the place, honestly,
Yeah.
at this point. Um, so I do have like a few more questions that I have here as well. One of the questions I had here actually is what do you think would be like the most memorable moment of that either you've done or something as a content creator,
That I've done.
or been like a part of or something?
I have two that come to mind because they both feel very different, and I don't know which one answers your question. The first one is, we made big enough waves in the Dragon Ball community, where Rhyme and I think at the time maybe a couple other people went out, but like we went out and the people from Japan, the bigwigs from Bandai Japan, flew in, uh, had a translator talk to us, and we gave them feedback on Xenoverse 1. And a lot of feedback that we gave them on Xenoverse 1 ended up in Xenoverse 2. And they just the I think, I don't know anything, and like I've been out of the YouTube game for a while, but I believe the relationship between Japan and YouTubers has since grown more rocky. But at the time, we had a strong thing going on, and like we were able to, because we listened to what they said and we played the game, like our viewers. We listened to what our viewers said, and we played the game so much ourselves, and we were so into that game, and we were so invested in that community, that we were able to take what we liked and what we didn't like about the first game and go to them in the second game and say, we want this. Or if it didn't make it in the second game, it made it in a DLC patch, and we were just able to kind of be the voice, and we were able to funnel in the good things that the community was saying to the people at the top, and we were able to get a better game for the viewers, or just the people playing it in general. So we were able to bring that full circle, and I think that was really that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
that's actually like something that like you wouldn't think could happen. Is like I find like a lot of the big companies, like it's harder for them to like get like their like viewership, like feedback and all that stuff, but like them actually like that company, I want to assume Bandai,
yeah, yeah, it was
yeah,
Banner.
the fact that like they actually like talked to you guys and was like, this is what's good, this is what's not working, and then they actually followed through with some of it, it's actually really impressive to me.
Yeah, they implemented what they could with their budget and their time constraints and all that stuff. And yeah, being able to get to that level to where like I played games my whole life, but to be able to influence a game like that and then influence a game like that in a community that at the time I was very, very integrated and just locked into, I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, to be able to be a piece of the puzzle and complete that circle was it. The other one I was gonna say was one day I randomly got raided by Philip DeFranco on Twitch.
Really?
Yeah, Philly D was this was Xenoverse 1. I think I was playing Xenoverse 1 when he raided me actually. I had always watched Philly D was like the first YouTuber. Before I even got into watching the Call of Duty guys, Philly D was like the first YouTuber I watched. He would do the daily Philip DeFranco show. I could go back and pinpoint to you the very first Philly D episode I watched, if he hasn't deleted it, and I would know that I started watching him the day after because I caught it a day late. Anyway, so I'd watched Philly D for years. I haven't really caught him much in the last 5 or 7 years or so, but at the time I was the biggest Philly D fanatic, and I had been for years. And then one day randomly he was playing FIFA, and I went back to the end of his VOD and looked, and he's like, "Oh, there's a new Dragon Ball game up. Let's see what's in that," because we were near the top of the directory in Xenoverse. And I think it was like Odd One, who was a professional League of Legends player, and then maybe another guy, and then me. And he just happened to pick me. And he's like, "I'll raid this channel." I caught the raid, and I was like, "That's pretty cool."
Yeah, that's kind of just massive in general. Like, I'll be honest, when I was first like streaming on Twitch and you ended up rating me, I kind of had that same sort of situation. I'll be honest, for like the longest time you were like my favorite YouTuber and all that shit, and I was like, wait, this is a real thing that just happened?
Always like, I don't know, it's weird. I always like giving back to the community, but I'm at a really weird spot where like I don't like if you come into my channel and you talk about like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing this," especially if I don't recognize your name very well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to do this on my stream later. Hey guys, I'll be streaming this." Like that's obviously, you know how it is, the etiquette and all that. Like that's a huge turnoff. But if I naturally find out that you stream, like I don't know if I'd follow you on Twitter, if you added me and maybe I clicked your profile and scrolled or something, but one way or another I found out you were streaming, or you had a Twitch, you were streaming, and then I just click follow, and then I love giving back to smaller members of the community who stream like that.
Yeah, I think you actually found out that I streamed through Ben's raid, actually.
That makes sense. That 100% makes sense.
I was playing like Portal 2 or something at the time. He raided me, and then you ended up dropping the follow. I'm pretty sure that VOD is still on my YouTube channel.
Oh shit.
Yeah. The last like actual question that I have written down here is, you've been growing out your hair for I don't know how many years, but how do you keep your hair looking so good?
Head and Shoulders is the shampoo I use. That's really it. Lately, sometimes I'll put it up. I didn't used to do that. And then some days I just won't brush it because I get compliments on it when I don't brush it, and I was like, all right, well, I guess that's a style, so I don't know. But yeah, it's just, honest to God, the only thing I use is Head and Shoulders. People hate this answer, but most of my hair is just, I got it genetically, which I will probably, if genetics are playing a part, I will probably be losing soon because like my dad was bald by the time he was 30. So
oh, that's
holding out while I can.
Just gonna hold on to the hairs.
Yeah. I'm afraid to cut it short because like, will it grow back? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I actually started like growing my hair out like pretty much when COVID hit, because I was like, well, I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna start growing it out. And
if
like,
you were ever gonna caveman it, get the beard, get the hair. Like if you were ever gonna caveman, it's like COVID's here, whatever.
yeah, exactly. Like there was a while where like I just didn't like clean up like my beard or anything, but now I'm like, I kind of like make sure like I gotta trim that down at least. Yeah, we also have a Twitter question here, because before every single podcast I always make sure I tweet out, hey, we're gonna be interviewing X person. Go ahead, leave a comment on it. So if you guys aren't following my Twitter, you guys should at SiNxRealize. So the question we have here is from Benjamin 10. He keeps making it back, god damn it. So his question is, what are your thoughts on Pokemon Arceus? Also, how do you think Pokemon fans are able, or Sonic fans are able to sleep at night?
Uh, the Sonic fan went through me for a loop. Let me do the Arceus one first.
All right.
I liked Arceus a lot. Um, the game it bugs me because the game absolutely needed another 6 months to a year in the old fucking in the pressure cooker there. Um, they released it before it was done. It looks visually like complete fucking ass. Unless the Pokemon is doing an attack or evolving, the game looks awful, which is another huge disappointment. And people always try to tell me like, "Oh, graphics don't mean anything." Uh, in games, but I don't think that's 100% true. Like, obviously, if you have a good video game, you have a good video game, and that's always been the case. But like graphically, Arceus or even what Sword and Shield was supposed to be, is the game that like I envisioned when I was a kid playing Pokemon Stadium 1. Like I'd played Red and Blue and then I saw Stadium 1 and I'm like, one day, well, I'm going to be able to play all of Pokemon and walk through it, but with the graphics of Red and Blue, like with the 3D and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And Sword and Shield came out and it looked 100, like it looked worse. I don't know. But this is the most powerful, this fucking thing right here is the most powerful console Nintendo's ever had. And we've seen games look good on it. Our Mario Odyssey looks good. Luigi's Mansion looks good. Like we've seen games look good on it.
Yeah.
So that was another disappointment. I'm going through all the negatives first, then I'll get to what I like about it.
It's all good.
The side quests piss me off because most of them are like most of them are just boring, don't add a lot to the story. And then on top of that, the rewards you get for them, it's like 80 to 90% of the side quests. It's like you'll get like a revive or like a star piece or like a who cares, you didn't actually have to do this side quest. But you can't ignore them because like there's 5 or 10% of the side quests that give you some really cool shit like a Chimchar or a shiny Ponyta or something. So I have my problems with the game. That being said, Game Freak tried something new. I think they did a really good job with it outside of the things I listed, which a lot of that could be solved with more time in the cooker. But aside from that, I mean, I liked it a lot. I like the catching aspect. I like the battles. I've never felt more immersed in a Pokemon game in my life than the fact that I can run around as a trainer and like yell out the commands. I'm still the trainer. I'm not just the Pokemon picking the attack, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I haven't actually beaten the game yet, and the reason I haven't beaten the game is because I got to the point in the last area where it's like you can go to the last area. I haven't gone yet, and I said to myself, I'm having so much fun with this. I want to level 10 the Pokedex. I want to level 10 the whole Pokedex. And so I've got the first area done, and I've almost got the second area done, level 10. And I want to finish those out before I go to the final area in the game and then beat it. But I want to get the shiny charm. I've got like 7 or 8 shinies, a couple of them natural. Got a shiny Chimchar that was badass. And I'm having fun with it. I think they kind of built in that like the fun of shiny hunting and Let's Go, because like that's why I stuck around with Let's Go so much, and then they made that even more fun. The only concern I have going forward, because I hear everyone always like, oh my god, if they make a Pokemon Legends 2 or Arceus 2 or whatever, that's going to be the really great game, is what I see a lot of people saying. Like, that's going to be the one that they're going to put the time and effort into, because they know that this game worked. And the only reason I'm worried about that is because it's Game Freak. And Game Freak, for the last however many years, I don't know, since past X and Y, have proven that if they can do the bare minimum, they will do the bare minimum. You know what I mean? Like, to me, Sun and Moon was not a good game. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon was just the second not a good game. Sword and Shield came out, and they cut features. And they cut Pokemon out of Sword and Shield and sold it back to people as DLC. And the game looked like ass on the best, the strongest console Nintendo's ever had. And fans were still like, no, this is fine. We love this game. So, like, they can get away with the bare minimum. They didn't have to make Arceus. They did that. I don't know why they did that, but I'm glad they did. But I'm just worried if they make a Legends 2, they will also put very minimal effort into that one.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping for the best. We're still supposed to get DLC for Arceus. Data miners have been digging around in that. But I know I said a lot of negatives, but I do like the game a lot, and I like the potential it has a lot. And I'm looking forward to more installments in it. And at this point, I'm more excited for Arceus or Legends titles than I would be a mainline game.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I pretty much have like the same like sort of issues with Arceus that you do. Like for me, like I like the storyline, but graphically it's not up to par for where it should be. Because like I feel like they could have let it brew a little bit more, get it to like a closer quality to like what's the game I'm thinking of? Breath of the Wild. I haven't played it, but I've seen the gameplay, and like graphically
Even on
it's
the Wii U, Breath of the Wild looked better.
yeah,
Breath of the Wild
exactly.
2 is about to come out and make Arceus look so bad. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Like I actually want to play Breath of the Wild at some point, but for me it's like I don't have the time for that. I'm too busy with all my other shit.
If you were going to, I would only recommend do it the way I played Breath of the Wild, and I still want to go back and finish it before 2 comes out. But if you think your computer can handle it, I don't know what kind of computer situation you're looking at. There's a Wii U emulator out there, and you can get graphics mods for it. It puts the game in 60 frames. It makes the graphics look better in general. And then I put on a mod that make it so my weapons don't break, and I was having a blast. Everybody hates the weapon breaking in that game.
Yeah, I feel like that's always a problem with like what was that the only one that had weapon breaking, or did any of the older ones have that?
If they did, it wasn't nearly bad enough for people to complain about it. I'm not a
Mhm.
huge Zelda guy. I've played like maybe 3 Zelda games, Breath of the
Yeah.
Wild being one of them. But it was awful in that game.
Yeah, like I tried getting into like Legend of Zelda a few different times. Like I tried playing Majora's Mask. I couldn't do it for the life of me. I was so frustrated of the days resetting. That was so obnoxious to me. I hated that. I was like,
I
I
think
just want to play.
I think if you get a Wind Waker port, that's what a lot of people say should be your entry to.
Yeah. I also played like a little bit of Ocarina of Time. And then I just stopped playing for some reason. But yeah, I've heard like Wind Waker's a really good one. I've seen gameplay for that. It looks good. Um but yeah, like back to Arceus, graphically it could have done better.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
don't know. Like I had a lot of problems with it, and I feel like the Pokemon community, and you'd know more about this than me, but I feel like a lot of the Pokemon community is everything's either black and white. You either love Pokemon or you hate Pokemon, and so I can't start talking negatively about Pokemon without people immediately going, "Oh, this guy just hates it." He's one of those people who hates everything new in Pokemon. I'm like, no, it's not true. I tried Moon. I didn't like it. I didn't think I would like Let's Go, and I fucking loved Let's Go. I really like Pokemon Quest when that game came out, but then yeah, and I love Arceus. I'm cautious moving forward with it, but like for what it is, I love Arceus. I'm very glad because they, like I said, they didn't have to do anything different. What they were doing before with minimal effort on the mainline games was working. They didn't have to go make a new game, but they did, and it was for what it was. It's really solid. So
yeah, it was a solid first attempt at trying something new.
yeah.
All right, so the second part of Ben's question: how do you think the Sonic fans are able to sleep at night? Which I don't know
I
what
don't
he
think
means by
Sonic
that.
fans. I don't think Sonic fans feel guilt. I think that's how.
Yeah, true. Like
Yeah, that's my answer.
I don't really know like what he was hinting at with that. I know
No.
that I know that there's like this second Sonic game that's coming out, and apparently, I think I heard that there was a Knuckles TV show coming.
Oh, he might be talking about how well the second Sonic movie's coming out, but they announced the Sonic game at the last E3 or something. I don't know. They announced the Sonic game at some recent deal, and it's supposed to be open world.
Oh
And
yeah,
there's rumors that there might be Chow Garden in it, but I've fallen for that too many times. The Chow Garden rumor is because they say, oh, well, the person who worked on Adventure 2 that made, or no, the person who created Chow is in on it. The person who created Chow was also in on Sonic Colors and Sonic Unleashed. There's no Chow Garden in those games. So I'm not holding my hope. But if it were to happen, Chow Garden in an open world makes sense because you could literally run to the Chow Garden and then, like, it'd be its own thing. I'm not getting my hopes up for that aspect of it. That being said, I am getting my hopes up for the idea of an open world Sonic game. That sounds cool.
mm-hmm. I
So if
know
he's talking about that, yes, I'm a Sonic fan. I'm looking forward to that game. If he's memeing the question, Sonic fans just don't have a conscience, so nothing bothers them. They can just sleep.
true. I know that like I for like a while you were like on like a Chow Garden grind. I do remember that.
Yeah, that was basically the only non-Dragon Ball thing that was successful on the main YouTube channel. Is I made Chow Garden and it actually popped off. I still get a lot of views in that playlist to this day.
It's the Sonic fans, man. They love it. Now if
We're
they
just
can
Chow Garden fans are just starving out here.
true.
They could just drop the coolest side shit ever and then never did it again.
Yeah, and now they're like, please just give me that at least a little bit. That's all I
The
want.
amount of money I would dump into a Chow mobile game. If they just made a Chow mobile game, Sega,
Oh,
like
that would be good actually. Now that I'm thinking
I'd
about it,
I'd pay
holy,
to roll for the fucking eggs. You get the stats better. You go race them and shit. Like man,
you would be
there's money there. They just don't want it.
you would be blowing hundreds on it, 100%.
Yes.
Unlike Dokkan Battle.
Well, I did blow 100 on Dokkan. I probably blew over a grand or two on Dokkan Battle by the time I quit playing. But I got to talk a lot of shit on that game while I was doing it, so it was fine.
Yeah. You made good content with talking shit on it, so it was all good. You probably made that money back.
Yeah, I guess. I guess in the long term, not immediately,
Hmm.
but over time, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So we do have a segment that we are going to swap into. It is called One Has to Go. So pretty much I take three things from a certain topic and you have to pick one that has to get shot, doesn't exist anymore. So like the theme I went for this one is it's just Dragon Ball Z sagas because I kind of just blanked. So we have the Android Cell Saga, Frieza, and Majin Buu. Which one gets shot?
Oh, you're doing the big ones, like the whole.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, I guess Boo. I don't wanna. I love Super Saiyan 3, but yeah,
Mhm.
out of the other two, it's in contention with. Yeah, we'll snipe the Boo saga.
Yeah, like the Frieza one, it's like it's iconic, especially because of like the world record for like longest fight or something like that. I think it was like 4 hours or some
Well,
shit.
that's not iconic. That's a fucking snore fest.
Yeah, true.
Frieza says we're fighting for 5 minutes, and then it goes on for like 20 episodes. But
Yeah, just like how every other anime does it, right? And then the Android Cell, of course, it has your favorite character Gohan going Super Saiyan 2. So
right.
there's no way that one was gonna get shot.
I'm also a big 17 fan, but yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any greater moment, possibly ever, than Gohan blasting Cell back with a Kamehameha.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was like just like a huge moment in Dragon Ball. People were eating that up. All right. So we do have one last segment, and then I'll be able to let you go. I'll be able to let you out of your cage. Um, and for this segment, what we like to do is we go onto Reddit and check out r/ Would You Rather. We grab 3 of the top ones of the month, and I have you answer them.
Okay.
Um, so the first one, for some reason, a lot of them had this sort of theme to it, and I struggled digging through them. But would you rather have $1 million right now or a penny that doubles in size every month? Like worth, I guess, is what it meant.
Ooh, I've heard the penny. The penny, because it would take like it would only take like a couple years before I'm good. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because like the penny
I've heard a penny doubled every day for 30 days, and then the penny still winds up being more. So in theory, like if you just stretch that out to 30 months, especially from that point forward, I'm winning for the rest of life.
yeah. So that one's kind of just like a free one. I saw like there was a lot of votes for actually like the million right now. I'm like, why?
Well, a lot of people might like, there's a lot of
Yeah,
people in trouble right now.
yeah, that's true. Especially if they're hanging out on Reddit.
Yeah.
And then we have the second one here, which is would you rather fly at point 0.5 miles per hour or swim at 200 miles per hour?
I'm gonna come back to that one real quick. I just
Okay.
punched in the calculator, and yeah, after like it's like 10 months or something, you're already looking at $100, $200, $500 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's all right. Could you re-ask me this question again?
Yeah, sure. Would you rather fly slowly at 0.5 miles per hour or swim fast at 200 miles per hour?
I think I really don't like. I want to say swimming, but I just don't see the benefit. Like, what would I go do? Win gold medals for the rest of my life? Like,
Yeah.
I guess.
You'd end up beating out Michael Phelps.
I think I would take the swimming. Because what ever am I gonna do with the flying aside from get a view, right? I will go up, I will get a view, I will come back down, and be like, I can do that with a hot air balloon.
True.
I don't think the flying is ever any other time gonna benefit me. I don't know. I think I take the swimming.
I mean, it might help getting through traffic, I guess. But
At
you'd be
half a mile an hour?
yeah, traffic doesn't move it.
I'm jumping off the bridge and hitting the river. I'm cutting through town.
There you go, I guess, right? All right, so the last one, I always try to make sure one's a little bit more on an edgier side. So this one is: would you rather be caught masturbating to photos of your mom or dad, or catch your mom and dad masturbating to a photo of you?
Oh my god, this is so fucked.
Right?
I would rather catch my parent. Because if I'm doing it, then I'm the weirdo, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh fuck, I guess I'm fucking weird. I guess I'm just, put me on a list or some shit.
God,
But if it's them, it's just like I find them and I'll be like, oh, thank God, you didn't diddle me when I was younger.
that you know of.
Yeah, you held it back. I got through. I'm an okay kid. I never have to talk to you again if I don't feel like it. Like we're on sucks, but
Yeah.
I'm okay.
For now. And then you find out something happened when you were younger.
Oh no.
So Uncle Steven came over when you were 2 years old.
Yeah, I don't need that talk in my life ever.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. But yeah, honestly, I think that's probably pretty good for the podcast for this month. Thank you once again, Thunder, for coming on. I do appreciate it.
Can I just say, the Sinterview is a killer name for this, and I like that you got your poster in the background of your Abby.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Thanks. I've had that for years. Like I have that one in the corner there. You can kind of see it. That was an older profile picture, and then over here is the first one that I have.
Good shit.
Yeah, I don't even remember when I got those. I think an ex got those for me. I was like, they're too cool to just burn.
Yeah. No, thanks.
Yeah. So of course, if you guys want to check out Thunder, I'll make sure to leave a link to his Twitch in the description down below. But of course, go ahead and let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, the Twitch is just Thundershot. Twitter is Thundershot75. YouTube is Thunderplays. If you want the YouTube channel, if you just prefer YouTube over Twitch, it's where I archive a lot of content over there. So people treat it more like a podcast because I upload hour and a half long videos of me either playing games with my friends or playing a game by myself. But we just upload big videos every day. So if you need something thrown in the background, that's that. And other than that, keep an eye out probably on my Twitter or anywhere because we're gonna start. If you're interested at all in Grand Theft Auto 5 RP, either watching it or maybe playing it yourself, we're gonna start hyping up TSRP again in the next couple months. So
there you go.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. You guys can find me over on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. Apparently, just search for SiNxRealize most social media platforms. So you'll most likely find me. Of course, check out the YouTube channel. I stream over there 3 times a week. And if you guys are watching over on Apple or Spotify, I guess Spotify has a rating system now. Rate it 5 stars. Come on, do it. Just do it, okay? But yeah, that's it. That's it for the podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Later.